In 1874, Texas was a land of raw edges, where dust storms swept the plains like restless ghosts. At a weathered trading post on the frontier's fringe, a crowd gathered, their faces hardened by the sun and suspicion. A crude wooden platform stood at the center, and on it, two young Apache sisters, Elena and Marisol, trembled with bound wrists. A trader, his voice coarse as gravel, bellowed, $1 for the pair. Laughter erupted, sharp and cruel, as if human lives were no more than livestock. Men jeered, some spat into the dirt, and the sisters lowered their eyes, lips cracked with fear and shame. Among the onlookers stood William Carr, a tall rancher with weathered hands and a heart heavy with the West's brutality. He'd come for supplies, not a spectacle, but the sight of the sisters, Elena, 25, her gaze defiant yet fragile, and Marisol, barely 20, clinging to her sister, stirred something deep. The bidding began, crude and callous. 50 cents, a drunk slurred. Another man, his eyes glinting with malice, raised the offer. William's fists clenched. He hadn't planned to act, but the sisters' raw fear and quiet dignity broke something in him. Before he could stop himself, his voice cut through the din, $1. The crowd froze, stunned. The trader smirked, slamming his hand down. Sold. William stepped forward, tossing a silver coin that glinted in the sun. The sisters' eyes met his, wary and uncertain. They weren't rescued, not yet. They'd only been sold again. William untied their wrists, his fingers gentle on the rope burns. "You're safe now," he said, voice low and steady. Elena lifted her chin, her defiance unbroken, while Marisol clung tighter to her sister. No thanks passed their lips, trust was a luxury they couldn't afford. William understood. He led them to his horse, helping them mount behind him. As they rode away, the trading post's laughter faded, just another cruel joke to the crowd. To William, it was a choice that would reshape his life. The ride to his ranch stretched long under the wide, untamed sky. Silence hung heavy, broken only by the creak of leather and the steady rhythm of hoofbeats. Elena's sharp eyes scanned the horizon, wary of every shadow. Marisol, exhausted, leaned against her sister, her breath uneven. William glanced back once, seeing fear etched deep in their faces. He wondered what horrors had led them to that platform but kept his questions locked away. The West guarded its secrets fiercely, and silence was often kinder than truth. At the ranch, William stabled his horse and ushered the sisters into his modest cabin. It was plain but warm, the hearth glowing with a fire that chased away the chill. The faint scent of stew lingered. He offered blankets, watching as they huddled near the flames. "Eat," he said, holding out bread. They hesitated, suspicion narrowing their eyes. Only when William took a bite himself did Elena accept a piece, passing most to Marisol. The younger sister ate quickly, tears mixing with hunger and relief. That night, William sat awake, rifle across his lap, guarding the sisters as they slept curled together on his bed. He stared into the fire, wrestling with the weight of his choice. He'd lived alone for years, his only companions cattle and silence. Now, his cabin held life, voices, footsteps, presence. But he knew this act of mercy was just the beginning. The world outside wouldn't forgive him. By dawn, Elena stirred, her dark eyes meeting William's with a question, "Why?" Her voice was soft but edged with mistrust. He paused, searching for truth. "Because no one deserves to be treated like that." Elena studied him, lips tight. She'd heard men lie before, but William's steady gaze held no deception. She nodded once, not in gratitude but acknowledgement. Marisol offered a faint smile, her hand brushing her sister's arm. For now, safety was enough. Days turned to weeks. The sisters adapted to ranch life, carrying water, gathering firewood, helping William cook. Marisol's soft Apache songs drifted through the air, light as wind through grass. Elena, guarded but strong, worked alongside William, her hands blistered but determined as she mended fences. William never ordered or demanded, he offered space, and in that space, a fragile bond grew. But whispers spread beyond the ranch. A lone rancher sheltering 2 Apache women sparked gossip like wildfire. One afternoon, 3 townsmen rode up, their eyes cold, their words venomous. "Carr, you're harboring savages," one spat. William stepped forward, rifle in hand, calm but unyielding. "They're under my protection." The men cursed, retreating, but their threat lingered. From the porch, Elena and Marisol watched, fear flashing in their eyes. William met Elena's gaze. "You don't have to be afraid here," he said. Her eyes softened, not trust yet, but a start. The ranch became a haven, alive with new rhythms. Elena moved with quiet strength, her hands skilled at mending, her counsel steady. Marisol's laughter filled the cabin, her spirit lighter with each passing day. William, once solitary, found himself listening for their voices, their footsteps. The walls of fear cracked slowly. Trust grew in small moments, Elena pressing a cloth of herbs into William's blistered hands, William catching Marisol's tears when she burned her fingers. Something deeper stirred between William and Elena, unspoken, fragile, yet undeniable. One stormy night, lightning tore the sky, and rain battered the cabin. A pounding at the door jolted William, rifle in hand. 2 Apache men, kin to the sisters, stood outside, demanding their return. William lowered his weapon but stood firm. "It's their choice." Elena stepped forward, chin high. "We stay," she said, her voice steady. The men left, defeated. After the storm, William found Elena by the fire, her eyes shimmering. "You stood with us," she whispered. "You gave us dignity when others gave us chains." William's throat tightened. He reached for her hand, and she didn't pull away. Their touch was a silent vow, equal and unbroken. The ranch flourished under their shared labor. Corn grew tall, calves thrived, and Marisol's songs wove through the dusk. Neighbors' whispers quieted, some shamed by the strength of William's choice. But danger lingered. Raiders came one summer, seeking to claim what wasn't theirs. William stood in the fields, rifle ready, but Elena joined him, bow in hand, her eyes fierce. Marisol, unafraid, carried water for the horses. The raiders, facing not just a man but a family, retreated into the dust. That night, William whispered to Elena, "I thought I gave you safety, but you gave me strength." She replied softly, "Together, we gave each other life." Seasons turned. Marisol, restless, left to find distant kin, her departure tearful but proud. Elena stayed, her bond with William deepening beyond words. They never sought a preacher's blessing, their union was forged in sweat, struggle, and shared sunrises. To the world, they became legend, a rancher and an Apache woman, not scandal but a story of love born in hardship. Years later, their porch drew children from nearby farms, listening to Elena's tales of her people under starlit skies. William taught them to ride, to respect the land. The sisters' story spread, a tale of redemption through compassion. As age settled on them, William and Elena watched sunsets bleed across the plains, his hair silver, her eyes still fierce. Words grew scarce, their love lived in shared chores, clasped hands, and endured trials. "You were the gift I never expected," William whispered once. Elena smiled, her voice like wind through grass. "And you were the home I never dreamed I'd find." When William's final day came, Elena held his hand, promising to keep their story alive. Across the West, it endured, not scandal, but legend. A love carved in dust, eternal under the wild Texas sky.